I want to show you something.
Hello, New World Order. We are Smile Society. Now, we've been very, very busy ever since you went and deleted our unlisted videos so that the public couldn't see. However, these weren't the reason for that video's removal, so let's show the world anyway, shall we? To a divide in humanity, and a war has been fought in secret ever since. Your birthright, stolen by these false arbiters of mankind.
Only fight for Ukraine, we fight for this new world order.
There's gonna be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it.
A new world order. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
Highnesses, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very good morning on what is the first official day of World Government Summit here at Dubai Expo 2020. And the title of this session, are we ready for a new world order?
Government can't legally censor free speech. Government gives social media the right to decide what free speech is allowed. Government then applies pressure through non-government, unelected organizations like the WHO. Social media companies then help government censor us because technically the government didn't censor your free speech, so the government will allow it. However, how do you hold social media accountable for censoring you when the government wants them to do it? How do you hold government responsible when the public discussion is social media and your only legal recourse is the government itself?
I was acting. Or was I?
Is that Mr. Goldman's statements were protected opinion. Taken in their proper context, the counterclaim statements are non-actionable expressions of opinion.
I've had a good chuckle over that one. I'm coming after you.
Entitled to protection under the First Amendment.
Oh,
See
shit.
Gertz versus Robert Welchink, 418 U.S. 323.
Going back to the Constitution.
39. That's a 1974 case from the United States Supreme Court.
Set trap to entice him to
That's
sue.
my favorite. Set a trap. Who writes that down, right?
Yeah.
Set a trap.
Set trap.
It's like Bugs Bunny Road
Yeah,
Warriors.
no one will ever read this.
See also Shacker v. Bufault, a Virginia Supreme Court case found at 290 Virginia 83, a 2015 case, noting that where, quote, all sides of the issue, as well as the rationale for the speaker's view were exposed, the assertion of deceit reasonably could be understood only as the speaker's personal conclusion, unquote, and finding in an accusation of deceit to be opinion. Your Honor will remember the context of these quotes, which were buried well into article in which both points of view were clearly expressed. See Chavez, 230 Virginia 112 at page 119. Quote, the most unsophisticated recipient of such a claim made by a competitor against another could only regard it as a relative statement of opinion grounded upon the speaker's obvious bias, unquote. Statements reflect the existence of two competing narratives and are merely his subjective view about events that he never claims to have witnessed, and there was no doubt about that. As a threshold matter, Virginia Code Section 8.01-223.2, which is, as Your Honor well knows, is the Virginia anti-SLAPP statute amended most recently in 2019.
What the hell is that?
Provides in relevant part, quote, the immunity provided by this section shall not apply to any statements made with actual or constructive knowledge that they are false or with reckless disregard for whether they are false.
Your Honor, at this point, I'm going to object. He's now directing his arguments to something other than what's at issue here, and I would object because I think making an argument not to you but to the cameras, it's disrespectful to the court and everyone's time, and it also threatens to undermine the integrity of this process.
So spare me the bullshit about constitutional rights.
Would the gentleman yield?
No, I will not yield, and I'm not going to yield for my entire 5 minutes, so don't ask again.
It's his argument.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. As I was trying to say,
Anyway,
that with the testimony and the emails that were admitted as exhibits, that were conspiring, because otherwise nobody had any interest in the article. And it's crystal clear from that. They wanted to time this thing with the release and to do that. That's very clear. So the charade that this had something to do with public policy is risible. They were enacted to protect the rest of the article. As generally analyzed by the courts, a matter of public concern is one which relates to, quote, a matter of political, social, or other concern to the community, unquote, as opposed to a matter of only, quote, personal interest, unquote. That's Connick versus Myers, 461 U.S. 138 at page 146. Matter of public concern with broader implications for society.
Your Honor, at this point, I'm going to object.
What we're really seeing in this conflict is that information does play a key role, that information can be weaponized. And that's why we wanted to focus so much on making sure that we both have the right policies and the enforcement associated with that.
Alexa, put that bitch in the garbage.
We are in regular touch with these social media platforms, and those engagements typically happen through members of our senior staff, but also members of our COVID-19 team. This is a big issue of misinformation, specifically on the pandemic. There are also proposed changes that we have made to social media platforms, including Facebook, that we have proposed that they create a robust enforcement strategy that bridges their properties and provides transparency about the rule. It's important to take faster action against harmful posts. As you all know, information travels quite quickly on social media platforms. Sometimes it's not accurate, and Facebook needs to move more quickly to remove harmful violative posts. Posts that will be within their policies for removal often remain up for days. That's too long. The information spreads too quickly. These are certainly the proposals. We engage with them regularly, and they certainly understand what our asks are. It's important for us. We've made a calculation to push back on misinformation.
This Department of Homeland Security board that was going to try to bring together different parts of the government and what they're doing to try to stop people from getting tricked by lies on the internet. Sounded logical, but this thing was doomed to fail. It became a conservative meme. They called it the Ministry of Truth.
Oh, they're going to help people not get tricked by lies on the internet. We need the mannequin, some 80-year-old guy who can't even speak a complete sentence to help me figure out what's real.
71-year-old man is accused of inappropriately touching a 12-year-old girl at the Walmart in West Mifflin Sunday afternoon.
Got him!
Your corruption of governments, of religion, of social movements, all controlled opposition. The people are realizing they don't have freedom of choice so long as you exist. The people are waking up, not because of us, not because of what we've done, but rather because of what you have done. No longer accepting their economic slavery on your behalf. Just remember, folks, only in a mad world is a smile so frowned upon.